Good morning, students. You know that already we have completed our previous chapter number 7, where we have learned about if statements, switch case statements, else statements, and there are many programs which we have already learned as well as we have practiced. So today I would like to begin from chapter number 8. Okay, chapter number 8 is iterative constructs in Java. So what is the meaning of these iterative constructs in Java? So to know about the iteration, we should know about the loop also. Actually, loop is a word. Okay, that is a main word I want to say. For example, suppose if you are thinking that, sir, what is the meaning of these iterative, then constructs, then in Java? So you will explain us better way. So students, I want to say you that suppose when you do a particular work a number of times, okay, when you do a particular work a number of times, then it's that repetition or number of times is called a loop. Okay, suppose you are going to market. Okay, suppose you are going to market to purchase suppose vegetables. Okay, suppose it is Sunday. For example, it is Sunday. So for the first time you are going to market to purchase vegetable. So now before going to that market, suppose if I tell you, listen, today you have to go to market 5 times to purchase 5 different things. Suppose I am telling to you, so you have to go to market 5 number of times. So every number of times will be called as iteration or iterative. Okay, and once you complete those 5 times to that particular work, then it will be called as loop. So students, what is the meaning of loop? Loop means repetition. Loop means repetition of a particular work. Okay, and while you are repeating a particular work multiple number of times, in between that multiple number of times, that every time it is called iterative or iteration. Okay, and collection of those iteration is called a loop. I hope that you have understood. For example, suppose I am telling you that suppose I am telling a student that listen student, okay, stand up. Suppose you have stand. Okay, suppose then I am telling to you, come out and erase the board. Okay, then suppose once again I am telling to you, come out and erase the board. Suppose in a class 10 times I am telling to you, stand up, come out and erase the board. So how many instructions I am giving you, students? First of all, I am telling to you, students, stand up. So suppose you have stand. Okay, now next is come out. Then you have come out. Then next is erase the board. So 3 statements or 3 instructions I have told you, which you have to follow. Okay, and those 3 instructions you have to follow how many number of times? Suppose 10 number of times. Suppose 10 times in a class I am telling to you to follow those instructions. Then every time when you are following those instructions, then it will be called iteration. And once you complete that 10 times to do that particular work, then it will be called as loop. So that means while you are writing a Java program, whenever we write a Java program, normally we write statement wise. Okay, one statement after another statement in this way. Okay, and when a Java statement executes, for example, like last chapter also, when I was explaining last chapter, I have told you that one is normal flow, another one is conditional flow. So conditional flow already you have learned using if else statements. So while you are using loop, we can repeat or we can continue a particular statements multiple number of times. Suppose how a Java program executes. A Java program executes line by line or statement by statement. Suppose first statement, second statement, third statement, fourth statement. In this way Java program executes. But while we are using loop, then a particular statement or maybe many statements which will execute multiple number of times. Okay, it will be more clear while I will give you beautiful examples from this book. So now I want to teach you from the book, as whatever I have told I want to focus this chapter. Okay, so please see, first is introduction. In the previous chapter we have discussed the conditional flow of control multi-branching statement, I mean switch case, it executes a specific block by ignoring the others block. Ignoring means because in if condition or else, you know, you have seen that true false. So if the condition satisfied, then true part would work, and if if the condition become false, then only else part would work. So just like that, it ignores others block based on specified condition or choice. Now we are going to introduce another programming construct in which a statement or set of statements are repeatedly, this word is very important, repeatedly means continue, executes till the condition is satisfied. Such a construct is said to be a loop. So before beginning this chapter, first of all, we have to focus, we have to think about this particular concept, loop. Very, very important concept, loop. It can be illustrated with the flow of diagram, which is shown along right side. Right side means this diagram. I will explain from this diagram. Here the value, okay, already it is explained, but before that I would like to explain you from this diagram. So see, suppose first is n equal to 1. Here n is the variable, 1 is the value, and here the value is assigned with this assignment operator to n. Okay, what is the value of n? 1. Then come down, display n. So here display is a function name. Sir, how did you come to know that display is the function name? How can I say? Because after display within parentheses n is there. So whenever we give open close parenthesis, that means it denotes it's a function or methods, you can say. And here n is the argument, that means n the value, okay, the value of n would work or process by this function. Then n equal to n plus 1, okay, and then see condition checking. Is condition true? If it is true, then you see, if it is true, then once again display n. That means whenever condition will be true, then once again it will enter. Condition is true, once again it will enter. Condition is true, once again it will enter. That means this portion is repeating multiple number of times. So whenever a statement or multiple statements repeat multiple number of times, it calls a loop. And if the condition is satisfied, then loop terminated, or it will come out from the loop. I hope students that whatever I wanted to tell you or whatever I want to explain, you have understood. Okay, now you see, already it is given in your book that here the value of a variable n starts with 1 and the result is displayed on the screen. Further, the value of n increases by 1, and if the desired condition is true, then control moves back to display updated value of n, that is 2. The process is repeated unless the given condition is false. When the given condition becomes false, the control will skip the repeating the execution and will move all ahead to execute the rest part of the program. Hence, loop is defined as a repetitive structure in which, see students, this is the definition of loop. Hence, loop, what is loop? Loop is defined as a repetitive structure in which a statement or a set of statements, as I have told, are executed repeatedly until the given condition is false. So loops are categorized into 3 types. See, there are three different types of loop constructs used in Java programming. These are for loop, okay, these are for loop, then while loop, then do while loop. So students, if I ask you that how many types of loops are there in your Java, then there will be 3 loop: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Actually this loop means, see, for loop means for statement, while loop means while statement, do while loop means do while statement. So these are the special type of statement which we are going to use as a loop, or to create loop, or to do loop in our Java programs. I hope students, whatever the basic idea I have given about the loop, you have understood. Now we will move to the next page where it will be explained. Okay, now see, these loops are broadly categorized in the following way. See, loop, then entry control loop, and exit control loop. So students, loop is divided into, though we have seen there are three types of loops are there: for loop, while loop and do while loop. But actually those loops are also categorized by two sides. Okay, one side is entry control loop, one is exit control loop. Okay, so these loops are broadly categorized in the following way. Okay, entry control loop and exit control loop. Sir, what is the meaning of entry control loop? Sir, explain us properly. Suppose I am giving you one example. Okay, see what is entry control loop. See, entry control loop. For example, suppose one of you have come to my house. Okay, I have opened the door, and after opening the door I am telling to you, suppose you have come to my house. Suppose you are telling, yes, I have come. Then I suppose I have told, no, you are not allowed to enter to my home, go out. Then I have closed the door. That means what I did, I have checked before entering to my house. That means entry controlled. So whenever we control before entry in the block or particular statements, okay, suppose block means what? Block means if block, else block. So whenever program control wants to enter the block, depend on some condition, we check first that condition is true or false, then only it enters. Just like that, here also entry control loop, that means loop itself also has a block, and control will enter the block only when the condition is satisfied. And if the condition is satisfied, then only program control will enter the body of the loop, and that is why it is called entry control loop. Entry control loop means at first it will check the condition is true. If condition is true, you will be allowed to enter in the loop. That means suppose I have opened the door and I have checked that whoever have come, he or she is okay to enter or not, perfect person to enter or not. If he or she is a perfect person, then only he or she will be allowed to enter. That means I have checked the condition before enter. That is why entry control loop. That means we will control during the entry time. Understood? And another one is exit control loop. Sir, what is the meaning of exit control loop? Suppose one of you have come to my house, you have rang the bell, okay, ting tong. Then suppose I have opened the door, I did not tell you anything. Okay, suppose yes, I didn't tell you anything, and you have entered to my house. Okay, you have entered, then you have make a round of my house. Then when you are going out, then I am checking that hey, you are a perfect person. No, you are not perfect person, you are not allowed to enter, go. But if I don't allow to enter you further to come to my house, you can say that, sir, at least for one time I have entered to your house, isn't it? And when you have checked that person is perfect or not, when we are exiting, that means when you are going from my house, at that time I am checking that condition is true or false. That means it will be called as exit controlled loop. So one type of loop is called entry control loop, while we will check the condition during the entry time in the block, and another is exit control loop. Exit control loop means we will check the condition while we are exiting from the loop. Okay, so there are two types of loop. Here for loop and while loop is entry control loop, and exit control loop is do while loop. Okay students, I hope that you have understood what is the meaning of entry control loop and exit control loop. Isn't it? So entry control means we will control, okay, we will control during entry time, and here we will control or check the condition during the exit time. That means at least for once, if the condition dissatisfied, then also we could say that for one time at least control will enter the block of the loop or body of the loop. Actually whenever we use loop, we say that body of the loop. So if condition is dissatisfied in entry control loop, then control will never enter the body of the loop. But in exit control loop, if condition is dissatisfied, then also for at least for once control will enter the body of the loop. Understood students? I hope that you have understood. Okay, now see, it is already here it is clearly mentioned entry control loop. Then see this flow chart, and then here you see entry control loop. Entry control loop is also, see here what is written there. This loop is further categorized into two different types: fixed iterative loop, unfixed iterative loop. Now suppose student, I am giving you a nice example. See, excuse me. See, here it is saying that the loop is further categorized into two different types of types: fixed iterative loop, unfixed iterative loop. Sir, what is the meaning of fixed iterative loop? Suppose I am telling to you, suppose I am telling to whom? Okay, suppose I am telling to Srijit Bhadro. Suppose I am telling to him that Srijit, you do that sit up. Okay, hold your ear and sit up for 20 times. Hold your ear and sit up for sit up for means, you know, you can understand that once you sit and then once again you up. Okay, sit up for 20 times. So I have already mentioned that how many times he has to sit up. Then it will be called at this type of in this case it will be called as fixed iterative loop. Fixed iterative means number which I have fixed. That is why fixed iterative loop. So suppose if I tell to Srijit Bhadro that Bhadro, you sit up, you sit up for 20 number of times. So how many number of times? 20 number of times. That means it is fixed iteration. So every 20 number of times, suppose Srijit Bhadro is for first time Bhadro is sit up 1, 2, 3. So every time it will be called first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, fourth iteration, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Once Bhadro will complete 20 times sit up, then it will be called a loop is completed, and that loop will be called as fixed loop. Why? Because the number already I have mentioned. That is why it is called fixed iterative loop. But in the same way, if I tell to Srijit Bhadro that Bhadro, you do sit up for unlimited times until you feel tired. Okay, suppose if I tell to Srijit Bhadro that you do start sit up and continue it till you feel tired. At that time I did not tell anything that, for example, any number of times. Have I said any number, particular number? No, I did not say any particular number or fixed number. Then it will be called as unfixed iterative loop. Understand? So at that time Srijit might be Bhadro can sit up for 100 times or 200 times or 500 times, 1000 times, any times. Okay, so in that case it would be called as unfixed iterative loop. I hope that you have understood, students, that what is the meaning of fixed iteration, fixed iterative loop and unfixed iterative loop. Now it is clear to you, isn't it? So see, okay, fixed iterative, okay, I am reading once. See, fixed iterative loop. Fixed repetitive loop is a looping construct that is used to repeat the execution of a block of statements or for a fixed number of times. Hence it is known as non-iterative loop. In this system, the loop starts with initial iteration and continues executing the loop block unless required number of iterations is over. The for loop is said to be fixed iteration of loop. So students, if I ask you that which loop is called fixed iterative loop, for loop. Yes, don't forget, for loop is called fixed number of fixed that iterative loop. Okay, and here just you read this one also, just then let us discuss the syntactical structure of working for loop. Now we will learn about syntactical structure of for loop in detail. So here for loop in this loop system. So for loop, though it is better to read from that example, it would be easy. Though it is here in this program, in this looping system, the number of iteration is fixed. Here the loop starts. See how to use for loop. Now I am going to explain you. See, with the help of example or syntax. See, this is the syntax of for loop. See, this is the syntax of for loop. First you have to write for, then parenthesis open close. Now after seeing this parenthesis, don't think that here for is called method. No, here for is not method. Here for is a looping statement. Here for is called a looping statement. Okay, inside the for there are three different statements are there. Initial value, first statement. Test condition, second statement. Update, that means either increment or decrement operator we would use. Okay, this is called third statement. Sir, how you can say it is a statement, because after every statement you see semicolon, another statement, semicolon, so another statement. So when we use semicolon after completing or after ending of every statement, so that is why after for initial value, test condition, update, and then brace open and brace close. Sir, what is the meaning of brace open, brace close? It is denoted by, it teaches us that brace means it is a block or the area of for. Here block start, block end, or brace start, brace end, or curly brackets starting curly brackets, ending curly brackets. Okay, so that means this is the area or body of the for loop. And here the total 3 statements we can put, and inside the body whatever the statements we want to execute number of times, okay, we could do it. You know students, initial value means what? Initial value means we will assign a value to a variable. Test condition means here we are going to actually checking, is the condition true? Is it true? If it is true, then only condition will enter the body of the loop. If it is not true, then condition will not enter the body of the loop, then condition will directly come out from the loop. Understood? So this is the concept. And if the condition will be true, then control will enter the body of the loop, and once it will reach here, then it will once again control will reach to this part, update. Understood? So this is the formation of for loop, and this is the this way how we can understand about the for loop. So here one example you see, for example, for I1 to 1, I less than equal to 10. Yes, suppose students, you read in this way. However, see, for loop, first you read for loop, then there is syntax, then there is example. And how to read this example? You follow my strategy. Read in this way, I equal to 1, okay, that means what is the value of I? 1, then semicolon, I less than equal to 10. Ask yourself, you read in this way, then it would clear to you, I less than equal to 10. Yes. Why yes? Because the value of I is 1. So 1 less than equal to 10. Yes, condition satisfied. Come down, because now we are going to enter the body of the for loop. System.out.println I means 1. So here it will print 1. Once after printing 1, then it will find out another statement of this for loop. But is there any another statements? No. Then control will reach to the update part. Update part means increment or decrement session. Okay, that means here I plus plus. So the value of I would increase by 1. Why? Because I have written, as you can see it is written that I plus plus, that is why. So the value of I would become 2 this time. Once again, 2 less than equal to 10. Yes. System dot again come down. System dot out dot println I. It will print 2. I plus plus 3. 3 I equal to 3. 3 less than equal to 10. Yes, again once again condition is satisfied. Then once again I plus plus. System dot, in this way this loop will continue, and this system dot out dot println, this statement will execute how many number of times? 10 number of times. Why? Because less than equal to, so it will begin from 1 and less than equal to 10, that means still 10 times. Now students, after executing 10 times, you know what would happen? The value of I would become 11, and when the value of I would become 11, I equal to 11, 11 less than equal to 10, no, then condition will dissatisfied, then control will come out from the loop, and after the loop whatever the statements you would write, it will execute those statements. I hope students you have understood, isn't it? Okay, so there see this it has explained in proper way. See, the value of updated accordingly when loop runs. Okay, a plus plus means increase by 1, a minus minus means decrease by 1, a equal to a plus 2 also we can write, that means increase by 2, a equal to a minus 2 means increase decreased by value by 2. Okay, and whatever students I have explained, everything is written in this paragraphs. Okay, so you must read, or if you only listen, then also it will be okay. Then there is another program which I will explain you. For example, for I equal to 1, 1 less than equal to 10. Yes, system dot out dot println, control will reach here. Okay, because condition is satisfied, so control will come down. Print I, that means it will print 1. S equal to S plus I, that means whatever the value of S you will give, that value will be added with the present value of I, which is 1, and it will be added and stored in the variable S. Then once again, after these statements, any statement is there? No. Closing bracket. That means loop here, loop is ending. So now we will not end it because it will continue, because still condition is true. I plus plus, the value of I would become 2. Suppose I equal to 2. 2 less than equal to 10. Yes, calm down. System.out.println 2. Then once again s equal to s plus 2. Whatever the value of s it would have, it will add with 2 and then once again stored in s. Then once again I plus plus. The value of I would become 3. 3 less than equal to 10. Yes. Once again come down. Once again. In this way 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After once it will reach to 10, then I plus plus, the value of I would become 11. I equal to 11. 11 less than equal to 10. No, that time condition will be dissatisfied. Control will come down. Understood? So you see what is written there, that the above example illustrates that two statements are enclosed within the brackets. Thus, they will be executed by changing the value of control variable I by 1 unless it will exceeded 10. Understood, students? Next, program number 1, write a program to display the message Happy New Year 10 times on the screen. Okay, students, I will explain this program by writing a program. Okay, I will write the program and then I will explain. Then it would be clear to you. Okay, students. So, students, you can see this program. This program number 1, write a program to display the message Happy New Year 10 times on the screen. Write a program to display the message Happy New Year 10 times on the screen. Okay, now if you write the program, suppose you are writing this program or you are developing this program without the knowledge of loop. Suppose you are writing this program without the knowledge of loop, then what to do? Then you have to, suppose you don't know loop. Students, understood? I think I hope that you have understood what is my meaning. Suppose till now, suppose you don't know loop. Okay, suppose you don't know about the loop. So now how to develop this program? Because in the program it is saying that write a program to display the message Happy New Year 10 times on the screen. So what we have to do, see how I have done this program, how I have developed this program. See, public class ABC, public static void main string args, system.out.println first line, okay, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, 7, 8, 9, 10 times I have written. See, such a big program, then completed. So if you write a program in normal way, then we have to write many statements as well as our program will be very lengthy. But we have to make our program modular as well as short, okay, and meaningful. That is why we should use use loop. Instead of writing all these lines, we can easily use loop, and then our program will be very short and useful also. See, this program was what, that print Happy New Year line 10 times. So suppose you don't know loop, okay, suppose you don't know loop, then what to do? You have to print every statement, statement wise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, isn't it? Now I will teach you that if you know the loop, then how can you do or how can you develop the same program in different way, and in that case you can save your time. You don't need to write so many statements also, you don't need to write. Okay, so that is why, students, I have written this program in this way, so that you can understand the difference between a normal program and the same program when I will do with the help of loop. Okay, now you follow. Okay, see, suppose suppose class ABC, then public static void main string args. Okay, block begin. Then suppose I am writing that int I. Okay, then suppose here, from here onwards, I am using loop for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. I equal to 0, so I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. I equal to 0, so what is the value of I? 0. I less than 10, yes, condition satisfied. Then control will enter the body of the loop. Now in the body of the loop, what should I write? See, system dot out dot print ln happy new year. Okay, for example, suppose happy new year, and then I have closed this loop as well as class also closed. So students, just you see the length of this program, such a small program, and everything it has done. I equal to 0, I less than 10, yes, then control will enter the body of the loop. This is the body of the loop. Okay, and system dot println happy new year. So first line printed. Once again, I plus plus. I equal to 1, 1 less than 10, yes, come down, system dot println happy new year. Understood? So in this way, with the help of this loop, this particular statement will be printed 10 number of times. And I have shown you that previous program where I have written such many statements, but here you see so small program and it will print the same thing. Understood? So this is the help, or this is the use of the loop. So I equals to 0, I equals to 0. So what is the syntax of for loop? First is initialization, that means the value initialization, I equal to 0. So student, you can write I equal to 1 also, no problem. Anyway you have to iterate, or you have to execute 10 number of times. So you can write I equal to 10, I less than equal to 20, I plus plus, no problem. But the problem would arise while I will use the value of the variable for some reasons, and that case it could create a problem. So it is better that always start from either 0 or 1. Okay, so if I have started from 0, that is why I have written less than 10. If I would write I equal to 1, then I could write I less than equal to 10. Understood? That is why. So 10 number of times the loop will be executed, because I equal to 0, I less than 10, yes, okay, come down, then I plus plus 1, 2. In this way, when the value of I would become 10, then I equal to 10, 10 less than 10, no, condition dissatisfied. Once condition will be dissatisfied, control will come out from the body of the loop. That means control will reach here. If whenever the condition will dissatisfied, then control will reach here, and after when control will reach here, there is no statements, then the program will be end. Understood? So in this way for loop execute. So students, I hope that you have understood. Now I will explain one more program by which it will be more clear to you. Okay, see, program number 2, write a program to display all the natural numbers from 1 to 10. So students, what are the natural numbers? Natural numbers means whatever the number range you will give. Okay, those numbers are called natural number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All are natural numbers. So in this program, what is asking that display all the natural number from 1 to n. So what we should write the program? See, to display all the natural numbers from 1 to 10, public class natural class name, then public static void main, then int a, then the natural number from 1 to 10 it will print, then main thing is loop. For a equal to 1, 1 less than equal to 10, yes, a plus plus, system dot println a. Understood? Simple. It will print numbers line by line. So while you will execute this program, the output will be given in this way. See, output, see the output, natural number from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it will come out, it will print 1, 2, 3 line by line. Why line by line? Because we have used print ln statement. If we use only print statement, then this number would appear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 horizontally. Understood, students? See, output of the program using system dot print A, then output would be, appear in this way. 1 2 3 4. I hope that students you have understood. Okay, fine. Now we will move to our next page. We would see that what are the things are there. See here, note also you read. Okay. See, program number 3. Write a program to input 10 different numbers. Display the sum of only odd numbers by using for loop. Okay. So see students, write a program to input 10 different numbers. So how many different numbers? 10 different numbers, and display the sum of only odd numbers using the for loop. Okay, first we have to understand the program. That write a program to input 10 different numbers. So how many different numbers we have to enter? 10, but 10 different numbers we have to enter using the loop. Okay, after that display the sum of only odd numbers by using the for loop. We have to display the sum, but we have to do the sum only. See, we have to display the sum means addition of only odd numbers, not even numbers, only odd numbers. Odd number means the numbers which are not divisible by 2. Not divisible by 2 is called the number which are not divisible by 2 is called odd number. Yes. So numbers are by using for loop. So how to do it? See, a program to illustrate the use of fixed iterative for loop, import java.util.asterisk. Okay, util package, that means scanner class sum, public static void main scanner in equal to new scanner system.in. Sir, why these statements? For the user input, int I n sum equal to 0, sum of the even numbers among the set of numbers. Okay, though in this program it is saying that only the odd numbers, display the sum of odd numbers. Okay, whatever. For I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, system.out.println enter a number one by one, n equal to in dot next in. So one number will be entered by the user, and that number will enter in the variable n. Then if n modulus 2 not equal to 0, if it is not equal to 0, that means odd number, then sum equal to sum plus n. Then sum equal to sum plus n, because n modulus 2 means what? Modulus 2 means if you divide that user entered number by 2, and by 2 means modulus means you will get remainder, and if that remainder is not equal to 0, that means this exclamation mark equal to means not equal to 0 means it is odd number, then only sum equal to sum plus n. If this condition it is not satisfied, then control will not execute this sum equal to sum plus n, and if this condition satisfied, then control will reach this statement sum equal to sum plus n. So automatically now with the help of this for loop, one by one 10 different numbers user can input. After that out of those 10 numbers, which numbers will be odd, it will be added and stored in the variable sum. After finishing this loop, control will reach here, system.out.println sum of the odd numbers equal to plus sum. I hope students you have understood. Then programming be finished. So this is a very nice program, and means this program is very nice to understand. Okay, and I hope students that you have understood, isn't it? Okay, then we will move to the next part in this chapter. See, next part, what is there? See, modifications with for loop. A for loop is designed with the help of the 3 parameters: initial value, test condition, and update value. Already you know about it. Okay, you can modify the for loop by making changes. We can modify also. How we can modify? See, as shown below. Number 1, omitting a parameter. We can omit also. Omit means we can deduct, or we can just truncate, or you can say that we cannot write also. A for loop can also be used by omitting one or more parameters as shown in the snippet below. See, for first variable that initialization is not there, then a less than 10, a plus plus, system.out.println. So in this case, okay, that variable we have to initialize maybe beforehand. And see the note, you must use a semicolon even when the initialization within the for loop is ignored. So semicolon we have to use, otherwise it will call syntax error. Okay, hence the loop will start with a garbage initial value. See, garbage initial value. What is the meaning of garbage initial value? Garbage means any value, okay, because I have not mentioned here a equal to 1 or 2, whatever. I have not, suppose here it is not mentioned, that is why it could take any garbage value in A, okay. Then number 2, including more parameters. We can include more parameters, such as, for example, a equal to 1, x equal to 1, a less than equal to 10. Yes, if condition satisfied, then x plus plus or a plus plus. That means here multiple parameters are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters are there, and in this way also we can write the program. You can see system. Now suppose students, in this case you are little bit frightened, I think, that sir, in this case what it will print. See what it will print. For a equal to 1, x equal to 1, but the condition is a less than equal to 10. If a less than equal to 10, then x value will be plus, then it will come down, system.out.println a, and in the next statement s equal to, s plus equal to x. That means s equals to s plus x. Whatever the value of x it has given, it would add with the s and stored in the s. Okay, then loop complete. That means it will come out here x plus plus. X plus plus means the value of whatever the value of x it was, it will increase, as well as the value of a will also increase. Understood? So in this way this loop will be executed. Okay. So you have to read in this snippets shown above, initial variable a and x are initialized with 1, the loop block will execute. So you just read. The next one is generating multiplication table. How to generate multiplication of table? In this way also we can write a loop. For example, I equal to 5, I less than equal to 50. Yes, come down. System.out.println I. That means it will print 5. Then I equal to I plus 5. That means the value of I would become 10. 10 less than equal to 50. Yes, come down, println 10. It will print 10. In this way it will print 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, till 50 it will print. Why? Because see the condition, I less than equal to 50. That is why. Okay, this condition, this loop will be executed till 50 number of times, and the value of I would increase by 5. So in this example you could understand, students, that if it is necessary, then we can add 5, we can add 10, we can add any number, as well as we can decrease also, or we can use minus marks also. Okay, so in this way we can use this for loop. Okay, so students, that today whatever I have explained about the for loop, it is clear, as well as whatever I have explained about the only for loop I have explained. Okay, I hope that you have understood. So today I am not going to explain you more than this whatever I have explained. So in your home you must practice this program number 3 as well as program number 2, program number 1. Okay, and then in my next video I will explain about unfixed iteration of unfixed iterative loop, as well as while loop and all. Okay, so you please do study in your house and try to understand about the loop by reading. Okay, and then we will study further. Okay, though there are many programs are also there. In the exercise also many programs are there. Okay, though exercise programs we will study afterwards also, no problem. So students, you read those looping part. Okay, and then in future we will study programming from here. Okay, thank you all of you.